Fantasy Hockey Picks and Bets on the Mayo Media Network. It is February 16th. My name is Cecil Peters, and we have a smaller 4-game slate to go over today after yesterday's massive 9-game banger. Now, before we get started, do not forget that you are legally obligated, if you're watching this, to smash the like button if you are watching it on YouTube especially. Not my rules, it is the Mayo Media Network, and when you listen to the Mayo Media Network, you smash the like button. That's just what you do, so hit that, and then let's go on with the rest of the video. We got 4 games tonight. Feels like a small slate, but it's actually a really good slate. All the games are good, great storylines and everything. Some really big heavyweight matchups. We got Minnesota and Winnipeg. Rematch of a game a couple nights ago that got pretty feisty. We got Florida and Carolina, 2 of the top teams in the East, battling it out. Anaheim and Calgary. Calgary's second game with new acquisition Tyler Toffoli. And then the stud feature game of the night, the Colorado Avalanche in Vegas to face the Vegas Golden Knights. Major storyline there, Jack Eichel making his season and Vegas Golden Knights debut. So a small slate, but each game has the potential to be a complete electric factory. Let's go to Winnipeg to start the night. We got the Minnesota Wild, minus 155 on the money line at Winnipeg. Winnipeg plus 135. It's just too good of a line on the Minnesota Wild. They did lose in this exact same matchup about a week ago when the game got a little out of hand near the end. And that's going to be the big story. It's the rematch of that game. Marcus Foligno actually ended up getting suspended for a couple games for his actions near the end. Conveniently enough, his 2 games is up. His return for this game. So Marcus Foligno going to be back in the lineup for the Minnesota Wild. He'll be buzzing on the third line with Jordan Greenway and Joel Eriksson-Ek. Winnipeg's going to be fired up to get another win against their rivalry team in the Minnesota Wild. Problem is, they just lost a couple nights ago to the Chicago Blackhawks. Did not look good. Minnesota, ever since that 2-0 loss to the Winnipeg Jets, has looked great. They just beat the Detroit Red Wings in a really big game for Matt Boldy. He got a hat trick. He's playing on the second line with Kevin Fiala and Frederick Gaudreau. They're providing great secondary support. Obviously, anytime you can get a hat trick out of your second line, that's a great night. Kirill Kaprizov on the top line. He had a 3-point night. Matt Zuccarello and Ryan Hartman playing with him. They all continue to play really well. Despite losing 2-0, that line actually dominated the Winnipeg Jets when they were here a week ago or so. I look for them to have a big night. Matt Zuccarello, Ryan Hartman, Kirill Kaprizov, the leaders of this Minnesota offense. All the focus probably on the Foligno line with his return from suspension. Focus on Boldy with his recent hat trick. But the superstar, Kirill Kaprizov, probably going to be the key feature here in a Minnesota Wild win. The only thing that can really stop him is the goaltending of Connor Hellebuyck. Just like last game, Minnesota probably outplayed them, but Hellebuyck was the difference with a big shutout. He's going to need to do pretty close to the same thing again. Minnesota's goaltending has been pretty good. Their depth is nice. Their defense has been playing pretty well. So I think minus 155 just for the talent on the Minnesota Wild is too big of a line. Easy bet to make. Minus 155 on the money line. Next game is in the Eastern Conference. Massive heavyweight tilt between 2 of the best teams in the East. Plus money right now, as I record this the day before, on the Florida Panthers. They are plus 105. Carolina Hurricanes minus 125. Pittsburgh just overtook Carolina for top spot in their division, but Carolina has a few games at hand, so they're going to be wanting to grab that spot back, and it starts with this game. Their opponent, the Panthers, currently lead the Eastern Conference. This is their first game back since the All-Star break. They've had a couple weeks off, so they will be well rested. They're pretty healthy coming into this game. The big focus in this game to me is just the way these 2 teams play. Florida loves to play at a fast pace. They're happy to trade chances. Carolina's going to come one way, take some shots. Florida's going to go back the other way. And Florida just lets their star players take over. So you got Jonathan Huberdeau. He's near the top of the league in points. Alexander Barkov, one of the best 2-way centers in the league. They are the focus of the Florida Panthers, but they really, line 1 through line 4, they can score. They can outscore any team in the league. Carolina's shown a little bit of weakness lately, losing to Toronto, losing to Ottawa, losing to Minnesota in 3 of their last 4 games. So 2 of those losses did come against extremely good teams, but guess what? The Florida Panthers, another extremely good team. So I think at plus money, however slight it is, you have to bet on Florida and take advantage of a Carolina team that is excellent, but not quite at their best recently. Next game of the night, one of 2 late games. We got the Anaheim Ducks in Calgary. I'm seeing Anaheim plus 160 at Calgary, minus 185 on the money line. Again, this is before the Flames game against Columbus the day before. minus 190 line that I do see, I think gets bigger on Calgary. I think Calgary will probably be closer to minus 250 by the time this game starts. They're in the second half of a back-to-back, but they did start Dan Vladar the night before in Columbus. I don't know how that went, but regardless, it means that Jacob Markstrom is going to be rested. He's on an absolute heater right now, piling up shutouts. I think he leads the league with 4 more shutouts than the next closest goaltender in Anaheim. As much as I love them, as good as they've been to me this year, as much money as they've made me, they just can't keep up with this Calgary Flames squad, especially with the Tyler Toffoli addition giving them 3 strong scoring lines. As I mentioned, I am recording this video before their game against Columbus. That's when Toffoli is going to make his season debut. Looks like he's playing with Sean Monahan and Dylan Dubé on the third line, so that just gives them 3 strong lines. I don't think Calgary wanted to mess with the chemistry of the Michael Backlund line, or of course the top line with Johnny Gaudreau, Elias Lindholm, and Matthew Tkachuk. Going to be really hard to stop them. No matter what line they throw out, they're going to produce some offense. So Calgary, absolutely rolling right now. I don't think you're going to be able to find minus 190 for much longer. Probably by the time you're hearing this, it's in the minus 200. So I will be on the Flames to win this game, but I will be betting them to win in regulation. Then the last game on the night, had to bury the lead here. The last game is in Vegas. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. The line, as I'm seeing right now, is plus 105 on the Avalanche, minus 125 for the Golden Knights at home. Seems like we've had 3 really, really good games so far on this slate, but then we come and drop the hammer with this massive matchup. Unfortunately, it's not quite a best on best, as Captain Mark Stone of the Vegas Golden Knights will miss this game. He's going to be out for quite a while here. He's been dealing with back injuries all season, kind of in and out of the lineup, but now that they need cap space to get Jack Eichel back in the lineup, Mark Stone moved to IR. Lots of people around the league are kind of seeing this as manipulation of the salary cap, but guess what? Worked for Chicago in 2015, worked for Tampa Bay last year. It's in the rules that they can do this. Bottom line is they're removing their captain and one of their best players from their lineup, probably for the rest of the regular season. So while, yes, it will help them in the playoffs, it's not a beneficial short-term move for the Vegas Golden Knights. So there is some risk to this as well. And the fact of the matter is he was missing. It seemed like every 3rd or 4th game he would randomly just miss with back injury. So Mark Stone out of the lineup for this game, out of the lineup for the foreseeable future. Jack Eichel's the real storyline here anyhow. He's going to center Max Pacioretty and Evgeny Dadonov in his first game since March of last year. Pacioretty and Eichel should be a lethal duo when Mark Stone does return. That's going to be one of the best lines in the entire league. For now, Evgeny Dadonov has no problem playing with superior players. Played with Jonathan Huberdeau in Florida in the past. Him and Barkov and Dadonov made up a great line for a couple seasons there. So it's a great spot for Dadonov. He's making $5 million a year. He was kind of one of the guys rumored to maybe be on his way out to make room for the Jack Eichel salary. Mark Stone on long-term injury reserve obviously takes care of that for now. So Eichel, Pacioretty, and Stone, likely your future first line for now. Evgeny Dadonov, and that should be more than fine for Vegas for the next little while here. They still got the great line with Marchessault, William Karlsson, and Riley Smith. We still got Nicholas Roy, Chandler Stevenson on the third line. So lots of great options for the Vegas Golden Knights to score. For the purpose of this game, though, the Colorado Avalanche fully healthy, plus 105. It's hard not to bet on them right now. They did play the night before against Dallas, but they got starter Darcy Kemper going in this game. Slow start to the year for him, but he has been excellent lately. Colorado's keeping the puck out of their own net. It's really hard to get a lot of chances against them. And when you do, they can reply with Nathan McKinnon, Gabe Landeskog, Mikko Rantanen on the top line, Nazem Kadri on the second line, Cale Makar on defense. So Colorado has probably more offensive weapons even than the Golden Knights. A lot of fanfare for this game for Vegas because it is in Vegas. It is the return of Jack Eichel. But Colorado, for the purposes of this game, is better odds. They're the better team right now. They're the healthier team. Unless something drastic happens in the game in Dallas the night before, I'm going to be placing a bet on the Colorado Avalanche. I like them up to about minus 130 in this game. Vegas just isn't quite fully healthy yet. So it is the best on best matchup we have been waiting for, but Vegas just not quite there yet. Hopefully we see these teams again, potentially in the playoffs. Would make for a great series, although personally I hope that Calgary can get out of the Pacific Division over the Vegas Golden Knights. That does it for the games. Yes, it's a bit of a smaller slate, but as of this recording, I do have a strong lean on each game with moneyline bets on the Wild, Panthers, and Avalanche, and then a bet on the Calgary Flames to win in regulation. Lots of best on best action, some great storylines. Should be a great night of hockey. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and tune back in tomorrow for Jake's breakdown of the games on Fantasy Hockey Picks and Bets.